All right, man. Good morning, good morning to you on this day, January 21st, 2019, as we are celebrating the life, the death, the myth, the man, the legend, Dr. Martin Luther King today. And so, yes, awesome, awesome. This is the New Black Wall Street Book Club, Reading Rainbow 2.0, and we are going to continue in our series. We're going to pick it up in chapter 5 of Think and Grow Rich: A Black Choice by Mr. Dennis Kimbro. And this chapter is about persistence. Is about persistence. So if you give me just a second, guys, I'm going to do what I'm going to ask you to do, which is like and share, so we can find other brothers and sisters who are interested in this thing called reading and comprehension. So we can then work with those brothers and sisters to do what successful people do. First to read, then to apply. First to read, then to apply. So no, this is not interesting to everybody, but that's okay. We're not looking for everybody. We're looking for the few. It's only a few. It only takes a few to start a movement. It only takes a couple. Only takes a few. All right. We're going to go ahead and hit this like button and share button, let people know that we're here, and then we'll get this show on the road. New Black Wall Street Book Club. Reading Rainbow 2.0 with a purpose. Going through the book, Think and Grow Rich: A Black Choice. Think and Grow Rich: A Black Choice. Good morning to you. Thanks so much for joining. Martin Luther King Day. He's got a dream, and hopefully you have a dream as well. He had a dream, and hopefully you have a dream as well. And hopefully that dream is big enough, right? Big enough to make a difference for the world. Big enough to make a difference for the world. Well, it's time to get this show on the road. Good morning to you, New Black Wall Street Book Club. Mr. DJ, hit the music. Good morning.
New Black Wall Street Book Club. Evan Jefferson, brother, much love. Educating, elevating, because in knowledge is the power and we'll never give it up. Literature's for the masses. Where to put your money down, now how to watch your assets. Yeah, uplifting others is a passion. My brother Evan, he will turn it into action. New Black Wall Street Book Club. You should come read with us. Yeah, we comprehend and discuss. We all just come together, there's no limit for us. Here comes your host, New Black Wall Street. Evan, take it away. New Black Wall Street Book Club.
All right, my beautiful people, man. Thanks so much for joining us here this morning, today on the New Black Wall Street Book Club, Reading Rainbow 2.0 with a purpose. And we're continuing along in our journey in the book, Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich: A Black Choice. This book was written by Mr. Dennis Kimbro. It's a guide to success for Black Americans. Black Enterprise recommends this book, says this book should be a required reader for all African Americans, truly committed to the pursuit of happiness and fulfillment. Truly committed. Question is, are you truly committed? I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified financial educator, CEO of ERGJ Enterprise, and also ERGJ Black Bazaar, and international best-selling author of the book, The Black Billionaires Club. It's a study of Black wealth. It's a study of the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And I just believe that if you and I want to be wealthy, if we desire to do that, we should study wealthy people. Everybody put in console, study. We should study wealthy people. Now, not only is it a book, guys, but it is actually a club. It's a club where we provide personal development, business development, financial literacy to teach you about money and how to make more of it. And then also investment education, where we teach you how to then make that money, work harder for you than you work for it. And you got an opportunity to join that club as well. If you like to do that, just simply go to theblackbillionairesclub.com, theblackbillionairesclub.com, and join the club today. Also, we have a newsletter that'll be coming out soon. So if you want to, if you say, hey, you just want to get some free membership and get some free content, go ahead and join up for our free newsletter. I said, man, it gotta be something out there that's gonna talk about Black folk and money. I haven't really found what I'm looking for, so we're gonna create it. Everybody put in the console, create. I haven't found what I'm looking for, so we're going to create it. That's exactly what we're gonna do. Now, you may be an author and you've written a good quality book that you feel would be great for this show. For us to be able to go through what you have written. Well, we want to give you some exposure. Make sure that if you are an author, you feel like you wrote a good book that works for what we're doing here. Make sure you inbox us, let us know, and we'll be happy to review your book and see if it's something that we want to implement into our rotation here on the New Black Wall Street Book Club. And then last but not least, if you have a business or a service that you would like to sponsor this show or get promotion, well, we love to be able to talk about what you do. I love to be able to put my mouth on your business and help you sell more stuff. Again, you want to inbox us and let us know about what it is that you do. We'll be happy to discuss what that looks like as far as sponsoring this show. Well, guys, we're going to get right into what we're talking about this morning. Good morning to you, by the way. We are broadcasting live across Instagram, YouTube, and also Facebook, and our new podcast. Check us out at NBWS Book Club. The NBWS Book Club. Regina Prosper's in the house. That's my sister, my wealthy woman of wealth is over there. Thanks so much for joining us here on Instagram. We're going to start this morning, guys, with our daily motivation. Our daily motivation. We're going to prepare our heart and our minds to receive our passage. We're going to do our daily motivation for African American success. Daily motivations for African American success. And of course, this is January 21st. January 21st. And today's title is Make Up Your Mind. Make up your mind. Everybody put a console, make up my mind. Make up your mind. In other words, decide. That's a good way to put it. Decide. So everybody put that in console. Decide. Make up your mind. Adam Clayton Powell, who's a former congressman, his quote says this: mix a conviction with a man and something happens. Mix a conviction with a man and something happens. Oh my goodness. Yes, I do. I go live every day. Yes, I do, Mr. Regina, every day. Here's our passage for today. Of course, that was our quarter today. Mix a conviction with a man. And you know what? This quote right here, I read it, but I skipped over it real fast. Conviction. When a man or woman has conviction, when they know what they want to do, when they know where they want to go, and can't nobody tell them nothing different, when you got conviction, something happens. Oh, Lord. Now, this is very interesting because I find that we get conviction when it comes to things that we want to buy. Oh, I want to go to the concert. Oh, I want the new car. Oh, I want to get the house. We got conviction in, and guess what happens? Something happens. We typically get what we want. Well, if we understand that, in that sense, well, why don't we use it in other areas of our life? Conviction, knowing what you want. A very wise man once said, if you can tell me what you want, I can tell you how to get it. He was a wise man because he knew that each of us has the capability to achieve whatever we desire. Everybody put in the console, whatever. We have the ability to achieve whatever we desire. The problem isn't the ability. The problem is making up your mind what it is that you want. The great majority of people who are dissatisfied with their lives suffer from not having decided upon what they want. So guess what? When you don't make a decision, you end up with anything, and typically anything ain't good enough. A young pianist visited U.B. Blake, the father of a ragtime music, and said, I want to write a musical score. Will you tell me how to go about it? You're too young, replied the great black musician. Wait until you are a few years older. But, objected the struggling artist, you composed when you were barely in your teens. Yes, agreed Blake, but I didn't have to ask anyone how to do it. The question that begs asking is, how do I know I have the ability to achieve what I want? The answer is self-evident. We do not seriously want things that we do not have the ability to achieve. We all seem to have a built-in governor that keeps us from wanting what is beyond our capabilities. The wide spectrum of occupations and accomplishments shows us the diversity of human desires. So what is the master formula for attainment? Simple. Make up your mind. Know exactly what you want and then do it. Make up your mind. Know exactly what you want and then do it. For example, earlier in this broadcast, I said, hey, we're going to do our first newsletter. I know exactly what I want. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to do it. Just that simple. Here's your affirmation of the day. I will make it my goal to find a goal. I'll make it my goal to find a goal. Make up your mind. What do you want? That's our daily motivation today, guys, for African American success. That leads us right into our subject matter for today. Again, we're going through Think and Grow Rich, a Black choice. Think and Grow Rich, a Black choice by Mr. Dennis Kimbro. We're now into chapter number 5. Of course, if you missed any of this, you can go back into our episodes. Again, we're on YouTube, Facebook. You can't do it, find it on Instagram because that only lasts for 24 hours. But you can find us on YouTube, Instagram, and podcast, NBWS Book Club, if you want to catch previous episodes. Also, when you go to our Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or podcast, make sure you like, make sure you follow, and also support and subscribe. This helps us to continue what we're doing to make a difference in our community. And if you like what we're doing, you're saying, hey, you want to be a part of something great, well, go ahead and do that today. Chapter 5, by all means, persist. Everybody put in console, persist. Ms. Terrica Henderson said, true, so many people listen to others and allow their fears to project onto them. That's why you can't share your goals with small-minded people. You're absolutely right. That's why, I tell people you probably want to get into a group of high achievers. You probably want to find people that you can actually share your stuff with who can give you some support. You gotta change your circle. You gotta change who you hang with. You gotta change who you talk to, right? We always talk about like-minded, but I'm telling you, when it comes to goals and money, ain't too many people that's like-minded. You might be like-minded when it comes to religion. You might be like-minded when it comes to a lot of different stuff, makeup, whatever. But when it comes to money and goals, ain't too many people like-minded. Okay? So you gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. Protect. Persist. Langston Hughes, he wrote this in one of his poems. Well, son, I'll tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. So, boy, don't you turn back. Don't you fall now, for I still climbing. And life for me ain't been no crystal stair. Winston Churchill went on to say this: never give up. Everybody put in the console, never give up. Winston Churchill. Calvin Coolidge says this: nothing takes the place of persistence. Nothing takes the place of persistence. Emerson said, nature provides the exercise. The challenge is for the development of the person. All development is the result of effort. And this effort is what strengthens the person. Life favors those who are able to stick with things when the going gets tough, because it does get tough at times. That's a part of life's challenge. Life favors those who are able to stick with things when the going gets tough. How many guys have been through some tough times? Because it does get tough at times. That is a part of life's challenge. Life will always be challenging. Understand that you are not alone in facing the hurdles that life presents. To live is to live in a state of challenge. Everybody put in the console, challenge. Challenge. Now, I don't know about you, but when it comes to certain things in my life, I look forward to the challenge. My question to you this morning: do you look forward to the challenge? Now, what challenge is that? Well, let's just talk about the challenge of today. Just making it through the day can be a challenge. But do you look forward to the challenge? Do you look forward to the challenge of building that business to whatever capacity you want to get it to? Do you look forward to actually starting a business that you've been talking about for the past 5 years? Do you look forward to the challenge of getting out of debt, although you may have gotten to debt for quite some time, but it's a challenge to overcome? Do you look forward to the challenge? Challenge. I don't know about you, but when somebody challenges me, I fight back. I fight back. Whew. Lord. Look at the lives of the many great achievers. Beethoven, he lost his hearing before he composed many of the masterpieces for which he is remembered. John Milton wrote Paradise Lost while totally blind. Abraham Lincoln was forced to borrow money for train fare to his own inauguration. And after years of searching for meaningful employment, a resolute and lean Albert Einstein formulated his seminal theory of relativity while working as a clerk in a patent office. Need you hear more? Poor, black, and seemingly without hope, her father peddled coal and ice in the streets of Philadelphia to pay for her music lessons. And Marian Anderson still became America's most famous contralto. Dr. Selma Burke, a black woman, whose depiction of Franklin D. Roosevelt appeared on freshly minted dimes, and the founder of the art institutes throughout the nation, received her doctorate from Livingston College in 1970. She was 70 years old. The indomitable 9-year-old Darwin Carlisle, who was trapped in an attic in an abandoned Gary, Indiana building without heat or food or water in the middle of the winter, hung on for several days until a construction worker heard her cries for help. Though doctors amputated her legs in order to save her life, she has confronted her obstacles with irrepressible resolve. Everybody put in console resolve. With irrepressible resolve. Is there anything that she cannot do? No, she proudly proclaims. And Vincent Bo Jackson, a product of a fatherless home in Bessemer, Alabama, whose childhood was a depressing portrayal of poverty and disappointment, made it to the doorsteps of Auburn University to become a latter-day Jim Thorpe. Just show him the game he can't play. He won the coveted Heisman Trophy in 1985, symbolic of college football's best. Turned next to pro baseball with the Kansas City Royals, and then to pro football with the Los Angeles Raiders. No athlete of recent times has had such a triumphant run in 2 major leagues. There's never been a successful or creatively gifted person who hasn't known failure or frustration or tough times. Times when money was a little low or non-existent. Times when he or she seemed out of touch with the rest of humanity. Times when fresh ideas and inspiration didn't flow. And times when physical or emotional handicaps seemed insurmountable. The hallmark of success. The hallmark of success is the ability to ride out those moments. Everybody put in the comments on ride out. The hallmark of success is the ability to ride it out and still prevail. Frustration and disappointment, even sorrow, can lead to joy and prosperity. At night you may weep, but joy comes in the morning. Often those who overcome the fiercest difficulties are the men and women who ultimately achieve the greatest triumphs and inspire us the most. In this lesson, I wish to discuss a principle that never fails. By adhering to this rule, you will add quality and richness to your life, eventually drawing you to the shores you seek. Without this characteristic, you can never fully enjoy riches of any kind, spiritual or material. With this principle, others will stand and view your efforts and accomplishments in awe. This element will also produce peace of mind that will never waver. The principle I speak of is persistence. The principle I speak of is persistence. Now, in another book that I'll read probably during the day, it's called The Greatest Salesman in the World. And one of the scrolls says, I will persist until I succeed. Everybody put it in the comments below. I will persist until I succeed. I will persist until I succeed. Never give up. Persistence means conviction, enthusiasm, perseverance, and courage in the face of obstructions. Above all, it means never stopping, never giving up, and never giving in. My good new friend from my 8-year-old entrepreneur has just joined us on Instagram Live. Daddy, did you know? Good morning to you. Above all, it means never stopping, never giving up, and never giving in. The power of persistence is characteristic of all men and women who have achieved greatness. It is of no such brilliance or intellect, talent, or resources as it is persistency of effort and constancy of purpose that draws greatness to the individual. Those who exceed in life are the men and women who keep their shoulders to the wheel, who do not believe themselves overly talented, but who realize that if they are ever to accomplish anything of value, they must do so by a determined and persistent effort. Never give up and never give in. Now, I find this to be interesting because, again, it's not about how talented they are. It's about how persistent they are willing to be, right? And we see this all the time, right? And I'm thinking of these athletes, right, who have immense talent. They might get drafted #1 overall, but they're not persistent or consistent in their practice habits or their work ethic, and they wind up out of the league in a couple of years because they get drafted on potential. While the person who's been consistent and persistent, just chugging right along, he has a 17-year career, something like that. There's something to be said about if you give me a person with the work ethic, I'll take that person over talent any day because we will win. We'll be the tortoise while they are the hare. And guess what? The tortoise wins every time. They might beat us in the 100-yard race, but we're gonna beat them. We're gonna beat them in the marathon. And when it comes to this thing called life, when it comes to this thing called business, when it comes to this thing called wealth building, it is a marathon, not a sprint. Wealth is built over time, not overnight. Trust is built over time, not overnight. Love is built over time, not overnight. And your success is going to come over time, not overnight. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus observed, it is not the things themselves that disturb men, but their judgment about these things. It is not the things that disturb men, but their judgments about these things. Life is a continual pattern of growth and refinement, challenge and obstacles. It has a way of sifting out the weak, the lazy, and the uninspired. It has a way of sifting out the lazy, the weak, and the uninspired. Now, I don't think I'm talking to any lazy people this morning. I don't think I'm talking to any weak people this morning. I don't think I'm talking to any uninspired people this morning. You may have been uninspired before you joined the show, but you are inspired now to get up, get out, and get something to go get it because it's waiting on you. You're not waiting on it. You're not waiting on that customer to call you. You're calling the customer. You're not waiting like most people do. You are creating. You're manifesting. You're making it happen. Matter of fact, I was talking to a friend the other day, went to the mall. She got a store in the mall. And the mall itself is kind of going downward, you know, not as much traffic. It seems like it's on its way out. She still got a store there. And when I went in and talked to her, I looked, I said, man, this is a quality spot. You know, you're close to a pretty big department store. You can still make this happen. Now the rent at the mall is pretty cheap because, again, it seemed like they're going away. And so there was a complaint about the lack of traffic in the mall. And I was saying to her, I said, stop, who cares about what the traffic in the mall? I understand the location is important, but you can create traffic. Everybody else might be empty, but your store could be booming because you go out and you make it happen. You can't sit in this booth all day long waiting on other people to come to you. You better find a way to generate some traffic. You got to make stuff happen. Her store could be the only store that got people in all the time. And now the mall is thanking her for bringing more people to the mall. Right? You got to make stuff happen. Stop complaining about things that you cannot control. See, she can't control whether people are going to come to the mall or not. But what she can control is she going to market. She can control she going to go out and pass out samples. She can control she going to pass out business cards. She can control she going to get online and do some internet marketing. She can control that. But guess what? She's spending all her time thinking about what she can't control, and she's doing nothing about what she can control. And therefore, she remains bound. I'm telling you, y'all better stop worrying about everything else that has nothing to do with what you can't control. And start focusing more on what you can control. What can you do to be productive? What can you do to drive traffic? What can you do? What's the next step for you to build that business? What can you do to get out of debt? Stop concerning yourself with the government, the laws, the tax. Guess what? That stuff ain't going to change. You're going to be here for 30, 40, 50, 60 years of your life. Those things are going to remain the same. They're not going to change. But guess what you can change? You. You. They're going to always be complaining about taxes. They ain't going to change. That ain't going to change. They're going to always be complaints about racism. That ain't going to change. It ain't changed. I've been here for 40 years. It ain't changed in 40 years. It ain't going to change. But guess what? I changed. You see what I'm saying? There's always going to be the poor among us. That ain't going to change. The Bible told us that. There will always be the poor among you. There are always going to be critics. That ain't going to change. That ain't going to change. But you can change. Whew. Where was I at? It is a way of sifting out the weak, the lazy, the uninspired, those who are not able or refuse to stand on their own 2 feet in the best as well as the worst of times. Think about what happens when a master craftsman forges a steel blade. First, he chooses the strongest, most durable, and resilient steel possible. Then, the metal is put through a refining fire and is heated and tested repeatedly until it is as solid and resistant as possible. Finally, the blade is honed and sharpened to its finest point of precision. The challenges that you will face are akin to this process. The hard-charging individual understands that there will always be difficulties to conquer. Everybody put it also conquer. There will always be difficulties to conquer. The achiever faces these challenges squarely and is strong enough, resourceful enough, resilient enough. Oh, I can do that all day long. Strong enough, resourceful enough, resilient enough. Everybody put in the console, I am enough. That's right. You're strong enough. You're resourceful enough. You're resilient enough. You're wise enough. Right? You're enough. You are enough. Matter of fact, you really are more than enough. I mean, for me to do the things that I'm doing, it doesn't take all of me. It just takes some of me. But just imagine if I gave it all of me. For me to get here and do this broadcast, it doesn't take all of me. It just takes some of me. But just imagine if I gave it all of me. For you to do what it is that you want to do, it doesn't take all of you. Take some of you. But just imagine if you gave it all of you. You are more than enough. Strong enough, resourceful enough, resilient enough, kind enough, patient enough, wise enough. To prevent them from becoming pitfalls. The type of inner stamina that this requires is what I mean by persistence. It is the stuff achievement is made of. It is the stuff achievement is made of. This is our intro into chapter 5, which talks about persistence in the book Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, part of the New Black Wall Street Book Club. This book club is what I do as a public offering to you guys each and every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 8 a.m. on the weekends. So you can tune in anytime live, but I invite you, that's right, I invite you to simply join the club. Of course, you can do it the free membership. You get a newsletter. We keep you up to date with what's going on, but you can actually pay and invest in the club. So you can get way more, right? You can get personal development. You can get business development. You get financial literacy, learn about money. And you get investment education to learn how to make your money work harder for you than you work for it. You have the opportunity to do that. $10 a month to join the club today and be a part of our mastermind. Be a part of the few, the brothers and sisters who are serious about winning this year. Be a part of the few. I'm telling you, this year, you got to make a decision to simply walk away from the crowd. What's that crowd? The crowd of people who are doing nothing. The crowd of people who have no goals. The crowd of people who follow everybody else, the blind leading the blind. You got to decide at some point in your life to walk away from the crowd. Don't do what they do. Don't talk how they talk. Don't act like they act. Don't go where they go. Don't spin like they spin. It's hard to make that decision. But I'm telling you, it's the best decision that you will ever make. Because guess where the crowd is going? Nowhere. And if you are with the crowd, guess where you're going? The same place they're going. Nowhere. Make a decision to walk away from the crowd and get with the few. The few who's going to be making changes in this world. The few who are going to lift our community up. The few people who are not talking, but they walking. Join the Black Billionaires Club today, where we study billionaires. We learn what they learn, and then we do what they do. Go to theblackbillionairesclub.com, theblackbillionairesclub.com to do that today. Now, I got to ask you guys, what's your takeaway from today? Of course, whenever we go live or broadcast, we want to make sure that it is valuable, that it's worth your time. So I ask you, was this worth your time and why? Why? What seed of thought was deposited into your life today that's going to make a difference that you can cultivate and you can bring a harvest into your life? That's right. We sowed a seed today. I don't know which one stuck with you, but I know that there's some good ground out there. We sowed a seed in the good ground today. While you guys are typing and letting us know what's your takeaway from today, what did you learn today, what's something that stood out for you today, I want to share with you an opportunity that you can do as well. Of course, today is the observance of Martin Luther King Day. And from ERGJ Black Bazaar, I just want to make sure that you're aware we do have the Uncle Martin activity books for you and or your children or the youth that you know. These activity books have historical facts about Mr. Martin Luther King. You can, they coloring, connect the dots, all the types of stuff. So you can pick up an activity book. It's only $10. Of course, we do have Martin, Malcolm, Garvey, those as well. Just simply go to www.ergjblackbazaar.com. www.ergjblackbazaar.com. Again, guys, I've invited you to join the Black Billionaires Club. You can do that today at theblackbillionairesclub.com. I've invited you, for those who are authors and you have a book that you've written that works for what we do, I've invited you to send us information about your book so we can review it. And I've also invited you who have a business or service and you like what we're doing here and you want to become a sponsor of this broadcast, I invite you to do that as well. Simply inbox us and let us know, and I'll be happy to promote for you. I help people sell more stuff. Well, Miss Vivian said, man, her takeaway today was, I will persist until I succeed. Drone pilot of Georgia said the herd is going nowhere, and I'm not going with the herd. Well, guys, ERGJ, Certified Financial Educator, CEO of ERGJ Enterprise and ERGJ Black Bazaar, also international best-selling author of the book, The Black Billionaires Club. I want you to remember this, that it takes a village, and it starts with us. Let's build wealth. Let's build these businesses. Let's build our community together. We all we got, people. But guess what? That's enough. Man, I pray to God preserve each and every one of you, that you'll go out today and have a fantastic day. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, across all platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and also our podcast, NBWS Book Club, for the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Until then, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
New Black, it's the New Black Wall Street Book Club. With your host, Evan Jameson.
The music.
It's time for us to go. Yeah. Now, you ain't got to leave the computer, but we encourage you to get out there and learn and apply all the things you learn at the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Build these bank accounts.
The New Black Wall